Here are solutions to homework set number 4 for ECE 376. This homework set looks at binary inputs, binary outputs, and timing in assembly with a PIC processor. The first problem is what happens after each assembly instruction. The first instruction says take the contents of W, add it to B, put the result in B. That's what the F means. W means put it in the working register. F means put it in the register you're talking about. So B is 9, W is 7, 9 plus 7 is 16. B becomes 16. This says increment A, put the result in W. A plus 1 is 9. W becomes 9. Subtract W from A, put the result in A. So 8 take away 9 is minus 1. I get minus 1, which is 255, 2's complement. Subtract 9 from W, put the result in W. 9 minus 9 is 0. Move the number 3 to W. Do logical AND. A with W, put the result in A. So 255 and 3 is 3. That goes bit by bit. 255 is 1111, 1111. 3 is 0000, 0011. Go bit by bit. When both bits are 1, I get 1. It gives you 000000, 11, 3. Inclusive or W with B, put the result in W. So 16 or 3 goes bit by bit. 16 is 1, 0000. 3 is 0011. Or the two together. 1 or 0 is 1, 0, 1, 1. That's 19. Problem number 2. Suppose you have a thermistor with this VI characteristic or temperature resistance relationship. Design a circuit that outputs 0 volts for temperatures less than 35 C, 5 volts for temperatures above 35 C. So there's what I want, a 0 volt, 5 volt output, switch at 35 C. Well, plugging it in here at 35 C, I'm at 653 ohms. Pick your favorite voltage divider. If I choose a 1K and R at 653 ohms, I get 1.976 volts. So switch at 1.976. For the plus or minus, take the limits. As temperature goes to infinity, R goes to 0, Vx goes to 0. I want this to go on when it's really hot, so connect the plus input for the offset, minus input for the divider. When it's really hot, this is 0. So it's going to give you the temperature is greater than 35 C. If you want less than 35 C, just flip the plus minus. Problem 3. Design a circuit with hysteresis. What I want to do is something like this. I turn on at 40 C. I turn off at 35 C. So to do that, once again, create your favorite voltage divider. At 35 C, R is 653 ohms. The input is 1.976 volts. This is the off voltage, or I turn off. At 40 C, I'm at 533 ohms, 1.70 volts. This is the on voltage. When the on voltage is less than the off voltage, I connect to the minus input. The on voltage is the offset, and the gain is the slope. Output changes by 5 volts as the input changes by 0.2 volts, gives you a slope of 21. Pick these to be 21 to 1 and make them large. Actually, this is in parallel with R. That changes the circuit slightly. Make this really large, like 100 times bigger. It does change the circuit by about 1%. If you don't care about 1%, it's almost right. If you want to be dead on, throw in a buffer right here. This is a buffer circuit. Input impedance is about 4 gigaohms. Output impedance is like 0.1 ohm. That'll get you even closer. Problem 4. Suppose I want to drive one of the RGB LEDs in your lab kit. If I want to drive it at 20 milliamps, then what I'll do is, here's the circuit. If I want 20 milliamps flowing, The voltage drop across the LED is given by the specs, 2 volts, 3.2, 3.2. If I power it at 5 volts to get 20 milliamps, the resistance is voltage over current. 150 ohms, 90 ohms, 90 ohms. That lets you turn on the LEDs independently. So this wasn't part of the assignment, but if you wanted to do it, here's a program that will just copy port B over to port C. So when I push the button, the corresponding LED will turn on. If I connect up here, here's my LED. I actually have 100 ohms going to the pins on port C, 0, 1, and 2. Then the common cathode goes to ground. As I hit the buttons, I get the first light, blue, green, red. If I hold down 2 buttons, blue plus green gives you teal, red and green is pink, red and green is yellow. Turn them all on, you get white light. I've got a flashlight. If I do some coding, I can make the lights turn on in different patterns. Problem 5. Design the hardware to turn on your 1 watt LED. It's down over here. Do that. Get this guy to turn on. Make it bigger so you can see it. Set up so the PIC can turn on and off a 1 watt LED. So I cannot do that directly because this draws 350 milliamps. A PIC can't do 350 milliamps. So what I'm going to do is add a transistor as a switch. When this turns on, this is roughly 6.8 ohms. This is roughly 3 volts, 3.2 volts. Well, let's see what's the problem. Okay, for this one, if I want to drive it at 350 milliamps, I've got 5 volts supplying it. Here's 0.2, 3.2 volts across the LED, makes it 3.4 volts. I've got 1.6 volts across RC at 350 milliamps. That needs to be 4.57 ohms. The base current has to be at least IC over beta, at least 3.5 milliamps. So pick something bigger than 3.5, less than 25, like 10 milliamps. At 10 milliamps, 430 ohms ought to work. So that should work for this one. It actually works for the LED in your lab kit. What I have here is pretty much the same circuit. I made this 1K. Makes that 5 milliamps. This is 6.8 ohms. It's part of the 1 watt LED. You can see the 6.8 ohms right there. As I hit this button, it turns on RC7. RC7 drives the base resistor, turns the LED on and off. And I can check to see if the transistor is saturated or not. Here it is. When the LED is off, I get 2.5 volts collector to emitter. When I turn it on, it's 0.69 volts. In electronics, we say 0.2 volts when you saturate. This is actually 0.069. There's nothing magical about the number 0.2. It's close to 0, but not quite. This one's even better. 0.069 is really close to 0. Not quite 0, but pretty close. That just tells you the transistor is saturated. I've got more than enough base current to saturate this puppy. The PIC can turn on and off that LED. It's up to you in the software for what you want to do with it. Problem 6 looks at timing. Suppose I want to play 155.5556 Hertz. Well, I'm going to output a square wave. The number of clocks between toggles should be 10 million divided by 2 times Hertz. This should be 32,000 clocks between toggles. So come up with a wait loop that waits 32,141 clocks. Well, here's a wait loop. This says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 1, 10. 10 clocks. This burns A times B cycles. The red section is 4 instructions plus 1, gives you 5. A. The black section is 4. So I want that total to be roughly 32,184. Trying a bunch of numbers, one that gets you close is 13 times 247. So to check it, there's a couple ways to measure the frequency. One approach is to take that same transistor that I had before, right here. Instead of going to the LED to power, go from problem 7. Let's build a 4-key piano. So here's the objective. I want to do this so that as I hit the buttons, play 4 different notes. Now the way that works is I'm going to use the same weight loop I had before, but change A, B, and B. So if I want to play 261 Hertz, come up with A and B that get you close to 19,157, and that's calculated as so. For 293 Hertz, change A and B, 329, 349. And the code, I'm going to check to see is any button pushed on port B. If so, toggle port C pin 0, and then check. If it was B0, call this routine B1, B2, B3. For the first note, here's A and B, set the weight loop, similar weight loops for the other notes. So the net result is this. 261 Hertz, 293, 329, 349, or if you don't have a frequency counter, you can use the piano tuner. The frequency counter is more accurate. And there you have it, a 4-key piano. And all sorts of good fun stuff. Homework number 4 for ECE 376. The speaker to power.